doing Tiny Tries It. So last week, if you follow our Instagram at the Keto Dashians, make sure you do follow if you don't. On Instagram stories, I was eating this dish from our local restaurant called Mandarin Kitchen. And it's like a crispy stuffed tofu with shrimp on top and super delicious. I could eat every day. So I asked Tiny to recreate it a little bit more cleaner keto, because of course they probably use flour and cornstarch and whatnot. And we're going to use xanthan gum as our replacement for cornstarch. We're going to do half deep fried, half air fryer, and kind of test it out, see how it is. So we'll see. Even read the recipe and instructions.
I would see it.
Okay. Well then. Are you gonna marinate the shrimp?
Yeah.
So of course Tiny doesn't read any of the recipe at all, so we're just gonna wing it, but I'll link below the recipe that we're trying to follow. Keyword try. You're supposed to read. Didn't read anything at all. So we got, what is that, salt? Sesame oil. What is it?
Oil. What is it? Garlic powder?
You need ground white pepper. We are gonna learn together, see how this turns out.
Is it called garlic or no?
It's up to you, babe. You're making it. Okay. But it also says that we need 1.5 teaspoons of cornstarch, so you need to use 1 teaspoon of the xanthan gum. How hard is it to read the recipe, babe? Tiny also bought the wrong tofu. This is the firm one. You're supposed to get it soft, but all right, we'll try it. Dumping out the water. Now we're gonna cut it.
Airfryer. So four times, right? Or they do it 3 times?
And do whatever you want.
How did you do it? So they made it pretty big. So in half?
That's too big.
Now if you put the shrimp on.
Okay.
In 3s?
Sure, whatever you like. All right, so we have 12 blocks. Okay, so position the tofu slices on a plate or sheet pan. Measure out 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, but we're going to use xanthan gum onto a small plate. Next, scoop 1 teaspoon of the filling with a measuring spoon and dip the open end of the spoon into the cornstarch to coat it. We're going to do 2 tablespoons, which is, yep. Okay, so next step, it says that you're gonna use the remaining cornstarch or xanthan gum, and then you're gonna sprinkle that on top like this.
Okay.
4 cups of oil in a wok to 375 degrees. And then we're gonna fry them evenly for 2 to 4 minutes. But we should try half and half oil and half air fryer. We're gonna test this out. Don't know how it's gonna be, but we're gonna test it out. So Tiny didn't read the recipe at all. I didn't realize we needed soft tofu versus firm, and also chose to use cooked shrimp versus raw shrimp. So again, we are learning all this together as we go. How do you think it's going to turn out? Comment below on how you think it's going to turn out, and if Tiny is successful in this or not.
Wow.
Okay, so let's do 6 and 6 just to test it out. Okay. All right, we're gonna use 6 into the air fryer. Don't mind how dirty it is. Tiny just sprayed some, what is it called? Oil spray? Spam or Pam? All right.
And you said 13 minutes?
Yeah, we can check it halfway through.
This is ready for 2.
Oh, okay. So now we're gonna try this in the oil.
I love those sticks. Really?
This is just a store-bought ground chili pepper that you can find at Asian markets. Tiny's making some fried rice for himself right now, but let's check this out. Let's see in the air fryer how it turns out. Okay, definitely not a different color or anything like that, but still could be crispy. I'll sample it. Okay, so this is the deep fried version, and then this is the air fryer version. Alright, so let's taste test this while Tiny makes his little fried rice. Okay, so this is the deep fried version. Actually looks really good, very similar. Super crispy. Good job, babe. Deep fried one is good. Dip it in the sauce. I mean, it's tofu, but the flavor is in the shrimp. You probably could marinate it a little longer. But it's all in the sauce, so let's try the sauce. Okay. Does the trick, satisfying the craving. Now let's try the air fried one. Air fried one's actually good too, and the inside's a little bit more softer than the deep fried one. So it kind of just depends on your preference. But if you want to be healthier, then obviously air fryer. Yeah, so crispy on the outside, soft on the inside, which is nice. Okay, Tiny tries it. Success. Good job, babe. Next time, read the instructions though.